20 minutes before 7 here on the program. The Freedom Movement, a coalition of political parties, academia, civil society and interested parties, says it has the full backing of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu in their mission to march to the Freedom Park this coming Freedom Day, the 27th of April, to strengthen a call to remove President Jacob Zuma from office. This was announced yesterday at a press briefing to call on all South Africans to join them on the day. Now, the two representatives and two members of the movement are joining us in studio to talk more about this, Prince Mashele and Catherine Constantinedes. Good to have both of you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you.
Morning, and thanks for having us.
All right, let's talk about what this is all about. So we've seen so many different movements, from Save South Africa to different marches that were held in these last few weeks. What makes this one different? Prince, I'll begin with you.
Okay, firstly, it is very important for different sectors of society to coordinate themselves. But there comes a point when different sectors and groupings in society have to come together and pursue the same agenda. So our observation is that we have done good work separately as formations, civil society, political parties, but this time around we have come together under the umbrella of the Freedom Movement to bring political parties, civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, labor and academics and so on, to say let's coordinate our activities with the aim of, one, removing President Jacob Zuma from office, two, protecting our constitution, three, protecting the integrity of our state as an instrument for transformation and the development of the people of South Africa, as well as giving power back to the people. That is our agenda. Okay.
Catherine, from your point of view, I mean, you're very well known for basically being a climate activist and really embarking on this environmental change. Why the kind of change of heart, if I can use that word again, and moving into the political arena? What's inspiring you to do this?
No, I think this is more of a journey of an active citizen, somebody who is a concerned South African about the state our nation is in. And we need to stand up and do something. And it's important for ordinary South Africans to stand up together under an umbrella. As Prince has just mentioned, this is an opportunity for us to have one voice, one vision. How are we going to build the tomorrow of South Africa? How are we going to back that? And I think that as a climate activist and as someone who is passionate about human rights, this is fundamental. We need to make sure that we are rallying behind this as active citizens of South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, I saw there was the DA is very much so on board, the UDM with Bantu Holomisa. What other political parties have expressed their interest to be a part of this movement?
Well, yesterday we actually had 3 political parties who have expressed a commitment to this. We had the DA, you had UDM, we had the Congress of the People. Political parties, I understand, have their own forums where they coordinate each other. So we can't speak for them per se, but at least we can speak for those who are part of it. So there is consultation going on. This thing, as it was announced yesterday, it was an announcement of the opening of the door. So in other words, people and formations were part of the announcement today are not the last to be part of it. It is an announcement that everyone come on board. So we expect that from today until the 27th of April, we'll have more and more formations declaring their support to the initiative. So this is really, really open, and it's not controlled by some elite sitting somewhere.
Yeah. How did it form? I mean, where was this discussed, the idea? How did it come up?
Well, people made phone calls following the marches that have been happening. And we said, the observation that we have made is that Jacob Zuma seems to think that when he has done something that hits the interest of the country, he can withdraw for 2 days, South Africans will be angry for a week, and then they go back to life as normal. We said, how do we sustain the momentum? That's when we called each other, because most of us who are in this movement were actually involved in the marches that were there last week. So we said, let's form a movement that will coordinate events and maintain the momentum. So it was really out of phone calls and meetings.
Yeah, so this is an idea to get everybody under one banner, because there was a bit of concern from a lot of people saying that, you know, there's a march here, there's a march there, there's another march over there. Where's that unified voice? Is this it? I mean, is this what you're trying to achieve at the end of the day?
This is absolutely the idea, and this is the focus, to make sure that we are trying to unify South Africans. This is an open invitation. We want people to come to the party. We want people to be a part of this, and we want people to understand that this is something that all South Africans can be a part of. How do we determine what that vision is? How are we going to determine what the idea is, to make sure that we stand united in the very principles that Prince has mentioned, in ensuring that we are rallying behind a common vision and a common cause?
Yeah, we keep using the word march, but it's
No.
you quickly corrected me on
Yes.
that one. It's not a march.
It's actually a rally.
Okay.
We had marches, for example, over the past 2 weeks. This one is a rally, it's a gathering. So in other words, there will be no march from Church Square to the Union Buildings, for example. That is a march. Here, people who go to the Freedom Park in Pretoria, they will get there and gather, and there will be a national stage for them to send a united message to both to the nation, but also to government and the president, that the South Africans are sick and tired and they want him out of office.
Yeah, sounds like someone's phoning you already, Prince, to be a part of this. I can hear a phone ringing.
It's actually not mine.
Is it not your phone? I don't know, I can just hear a phone ringing. It sounds like it's ringing off the hook. You've got people wanting to become members or not. I'm not too sure. But what about the protest fatigue? We're just seeing protests all over the place, and people are really asking, but guys, what good is going to come of this? You know, I mean, we taking to the streets, we expressing a lot of anger, but on the other side, there are people that really support President Zuma and want him to stay there. You know, do you think the public are getting sick of this, or have you noticed that people really want to join this?
I think the important thing is that South Africans, there is an amount of fatigue, but there's also something very important, and that is for us to understand that we have to make sure that South Africans have an opportunity and a voice. The same way that people have the right to freedom of expression, this is just another freedom of expression. This is an opportunity for us to say, who comes, let's sit around a table, let's bring different opinions, different voices to the table to understand where South Africa's at. And this has to be something that molds and changes in accordance to the feeling on the ground as to where South Africa moving towards. We can't always have an exact set agenda that can't be changed and can't be molded to what the feeling is on the ground on any given day. We have to move forward with South Africans in mind all of the time.
Yeah, I mean, we saw photographs of Venezuela and the people gathering again in protest over the government. Is that your vision? Is that what you're wanting to see South Africans get involved in?
Look, if we had the resources, we would like to take 1 million South Africans to the streets, but unfortunately we don't. So that is the goal, mass mobilization on a massive scale, so that Jacob Zuma understands that South Africans are really angry. But we have to be realistic. We can't have 1 million people on the streets. Those who can go to our gathering on the 27th, let them go there. But those who can organize elsewhere in South Africa, across the country, let them do so that it's not an event that is based at one place.
Yeah. All right. So I imagine details will become more available as it becomes clear who's joining, and how do people get more information about this?
We will keep people informed. We'll make announcements as we go along. So a few days before the day, we will actually make an announcement as to what's going to happen, what time we're going to start. But the venue is Freedom Park on the 27th in Pretoria.
All right, let's leave it there for now. Prince Mashele and Catherine Constantinedes, both members of the Freedom Movement, thank you very much for joining us here on the program. All right, we're going to take a break here on the program, and when we return...